Let's start with how do you name a brand? When you start a business, do you wonder how do you name a brand altogether? Well, in this video, we're going to cover the topic or give you tips on how do you name a particular brand. When you watch an ad altogether, the first thing that you typically want to notice is what brand it is. And that's where the importance of brand name comes into picture. The brand name is very important because that's how you identify a brand and probably remember it for the rest of your life. Well, let's see some of the types of brand names that you can actually think of when you launch a business. सबसे पहला, and that is founder-based brand name. ये आता by default है अगर आपने अपना business शुरू किया है. When you start a business, that's the first thing you would do. Think of, name the brand after your own name altogether. So those are founder-based brand names. And this happens for most of the small businesses that you see. When they start a small business, but they name it after probably the child or the spouse or the family name altogether. But obviously, there are famous brand names out there which are founder-based. For example, McDonald's, Walt Disney, Armani, Tata, Godrej, Ralph Lauren. In fact, if you notice very clearly, most of the luxury brands are typically named after their founders, starting with Louis Vuitton. Why go very far? The luxury watchmaker Audemars Piguet, named after Jules Audemars and Edward Piguet, established way back in 1875, where there were two founders coming together. So founder-based brand names take a lot of money. One small drawback of the founder name brand is that you need to spend a lot of money so that people actually recognize and remember the particular brand. Number two, the second one is descriptive brand name. By the word descriptive, I mean you think of a brand name that actually describes the product or service that you're offering, right? And in this case, there are many of them which are famous worldwide. There is Burger King, suggests that it sells burgers. There's Pizza Hut, American Airlines, Mad Over Donuts, Jumbo King Vada Pav. You see most of them suggesting exactly the products that they sell. But one of the biggest drawbacks of descriptive brand name is that they kind of limit you to the product that you're selling. Tomorrow, if Pizza Hut wants to go and sell burgers, it's a difficult take altogether. Something that KFC faces in India, where they want to sell veg offerings, but the name stands for Kentucky Fried Chicken. Number three, and those are the invented brand names. Brand names that are made up with different words, and they typically are not found in the dictionary. In this case, famous examples are Skype, Zomato, and everybody knows this word, Google. In fact, the name Zomato was kept from the word tomato and added a Z to give it a better vibe. But the founders wanted the name to be light, fun, and easy to remember. Moving on to number four are acronym-based brand names. Now, sometimes the original brand names tend to be lengthy with 2-3 words, probably based on the location or the founder name or many products or services offered together. In that case, consumers typically shorten the brand name on their own, or the company realizes that consumers are already using a shortened brand name. Let me give you some famous examples. Federal Express. By the time the company realized that they have to shorten it to FedEx, people are already calling the company FedEx. Some famous acronym brands are MRF, which is Madras Rubber Factory, PVR Cinemas. PVR stands for Priya Village Roadshow. Then comes the Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing, as we know as 3M. International Business Machine, which stands for IBM. And why go very far? In the banking segment, Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation, which stands for HSBC. Well, there's a small twist also. Sometimes brands reduce or shorten their brand names in order to convey different meaning. The very famous Kentucky Fried Chicken was shortened to KFC because the word fried had a very negative connotation, and people kind of avoided the brand for some point of time. And that's where they brought it down to KFC, so that the fried word is not right in the face. At number 5 are geographical-based brand names, based on the region or country from where the brand originate. That means in some way they hold some cultural association with the country of origin. And there are many of them. Most of the airlines typically have their names based on the country from where they originate. Qatar Airways, Air India, American Airlines, Emirates, and so on and so forth. Brands like Bailey's Irish Cream, Indian Premier League, IPL, FC Barcelona, Real Madrid, all these names stand based on the geographical origin. Or a brand name like Yamazaki, which is a purely Japanese term, which is actually a single malt, but it means a mountain promontory. Exactly. And some of the coffee brands call them as, which are sold on the basis of Irish coffees. They are referring to the Irish origin. Moving on to the next and the final one are lexical brand names. Lexical brand names are all about wordplay to capture attention. They can include puns, phrases, and intentional misspelling. The idea is that there should be a fun element around it. Some of the lexical brand names are Dunkin' Donuts, Food Panda, Oyo, Zomato, and Netflix. So these are the 6 brand names that you could typically think of while creating your own brand name altogether. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the brand name should be something that's easily remembered and recalled. Hope you like this video. Thank you and easy array.